Am I the a-hole for telling my mom's family I don't owe her because she had gender disappointment? My mom never wanted a boy. She wanted girls. Apparently, her dream was 4 daughters, but she had me 16 male first. I have seen photos and videos of the day I was born. She cried hysterically when they told her I was a boy. Then she refused to hold me. After we were cleaned up, she cried about not using the name she had chosen and said she didn't know how to move on from it. All this was caught on camera. Eventually, my paternal grandma took me, and she was the person who told me in photos and videos taken during the rest of our hospital stay. My paternal grandma was my sole parent figure for the first 8 years of my life. She took care of me, and I spent so much time at her house. Sometimes I was there for weeks. Then she had a brain bleed and died. So I was left with a mom who wanted girls and not a boy, and a dad who wanted to be a provider and nothing more. My mom had my sister Lily 2 years after me. So mom got her girl and Lily got all her attention, while I got grandma until I was 8 and then nobody. My mom and Lily are super close and mom adores Lily. Lily got the bigger bedroom, she gets the gifts, she gets all her favorite snacks, she gets to do all the extracurricular activities she could ever want. And her birthdays are huge parties with huge gifts. Christmas she gets at minimum 25 gifts from mom alone. Mom typically gets me 1, never anything I'd like or want, but thought that counts, which is 0. My mom's family don't act too interested in making up for my lack of parental love. And in the last couple of years, mom and I have argued more and I give her a hard time. Dad's never around to give him 1. But mom? If she wants to ignore me, then she can hear how crappy it is. And if she wants to treat my sister like a perfect angel, then she can hear about it. Mom has mentioned how I ruined her dream of 4 daughters. We were at my mom's parents' house Friday and mom gushed about Lily doing good on a project and a scooter she got Lily to help her get around easier. She got Lily a custom helmet and a personalized lock for her scooter. She couldn't stop talking about it, and I sarcastically told her she really does love to shower her favorite in gifts and praise. My mom's family told me I should take it easier on her and said I should understand we had some little troubles because of mom's gender disappointment. I told them I don't owe her anything because she had gender disappointment and that I didn't ask to be born to a mom who only wanted daughters. They told me I lacked adult understanding and compassion. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your mom is toxic and extremely shallow. So many out there are desperate for a healthy baby, regardless of gender. She's blessed with just that and rejects it. I'm so sorry your mom is like that, and for the loss of your grandmother. The good news is you're almost an adult. My advice is to focus on yourself and work hard so you can get out of there. Then you can choose when you see her and in what capacity. I really hate the concept of gender disappointment and feel it's becoming more obvious with these huge trendy gender reveals. Nobody needs to see their parents bratting because they're not what they expected. People need to grow up and realize what's important in life. I actually saw some people react just like my mom on those. Watching one of your parents get hysterical and freak out because of the sex you were born makes you feel really bad about yourself. It's how I felt anyway, and I questioned if even grandma really loved me if mom didn't. I don't know how people think it wouldn't hurt. From your post about my house that your grandma did really love you. She picked up where your mom let you down, rather than stepping back like other members of your family. That's love. I want to believe it, and a part of me does. She was amazing, but it's sometimes hard to believe because she was the only person to ever love me, and she's been gone for so long. I miss her every day. Not the a-hole. Your mother needs to grow up. You are in no way responsible for mitigating her disappointment that the fantasy she created in her head long before you even existed didn't materialize. Her inability to cope with reality should have never been your problem. It is grotesque to expect a child, which you are at 16, to be understanding of a mother's immaturity. Continue to call your mom's behavior. Speak up for yourself. And go no contact with her and anyone else defending her BS as soon as it is legal and financially possible. Next story. Am I the a-hole for accusing my mom of being selfish when she forces my twin sister's dad to include me? You read that right. My twin sister, 16 female, and I, 16 male, don't have the same dad. Mom slept with 2 guys close together and had us. DNA proved this too. It's always been a weird thing, and we got a lot of questions in real life. My sister's dad was willing to do the DNA test. Mine had to be dragged to court, and he has found ways around paying for me, and he and his family never wanted to know me. So my sister grew up with a dad and I didn't. Mom didn't like it. And when we were young, 3 to 5 maybe, I apparently used to get so sad when she'd leave and go to her dad's house, and I couldn't go with her. I don't remember it, but I get why it'd be true. So Mom told me he had to include me, and he was like, nope, no way. It ended up in court with Mom wanting to take away his parenting time. The judge ended up saying he didn't have to take me for his custody time, but he had to include me in any big days out with my sister or for family holidays if she went along. He tried to get my mom to drop it, but she refused. So ever since I was about 5 or 6, he has been forced to include me in his life sometimes and the lives of his family members. None of them want me there. I know they see me as this huge burden. I hated it. If I wasn't being ignored, they were just really short with me and made it so obvious they didn't want me there. My sister was torn between me and her dad. I told her I didn't want to deny her a dad, so she never let it come between them or us. When I turned 13, I tried to put my foot down with Mom, but she told me I had to go, and she said she'd take him to court so fast if he let me wander off, and didn't make sure I was okay like he would with my sister. There's only 2 years left, but I can see how much my sister's paternal side despised having me around. It sucks being forced somewhere that nobody wants you, and my mom is still serious about taking him back to court. So I told my mom a couple of nights ago that it needs to stop, and she can't keep doing this. She told me I don't deserve to be left out because of her actions. I told her she can't make them love me, and they have shown their disdain for me for over 10 years now. I told her to let it go. She got so mad she wanted to yell and cuss at them. I told her to stop being selfish and stop forcing them to include me because she's the only one who wants that, not me. I told her I never wanted this. Mom broke down and then she told me it wasn't necessary to be cruel to her. Am I the a-hole? The only a-hole here is your mother. That is not your father. It's your sister's father. She has that family. If they got to know you through her, they might have loved you for that, despite your mother. The way your mother went about it ensured hard feelings. I'm sorry your father wasn't involved, and that you don't seem to have family on that side. This mess is off your mother's making. Anyway, not the a-hole, and neither is your sister or her father. Yep, it made me a burden to them instead of someone that they didn't hate seeing sometimes. It's not like I think they had to love and want me, but Mom made sure things will always be tense and awkward, and not friendly. All because she couldn't just make it up to me at home, instead of forcing someone else to include me when he was clear he didn't want to. I also think the judge sucked for forcing it. Not they all. What a very sad situation. And I must say, you show a remarkable wisdom far beyond your years. You are of course right to tell your mom to just drop it. Forcing any relationship is never right. Your mom is stuck in her me role, and that is all she selfishly cares about, and is incapable of seeing the pain and hurt you have endured all these years. The only bright spot I can see is if your mother does want to take it to court, then this could be your chance to end her charade by speaking to the judge directly yourself on your wants and needs. I hope for the best to you. At 16, the judge would listen to you, and maybe this horribly wrong situation can end for you. Oh, thank you for saying that. Trying to be fair to my sister. She's my favorite person. And sometimes it feels like she's going to be the only person I have in my life at some point, because Mom might get too toxic. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she actually has to do things to get celebrated? I have a 16-year-old daughter, Katie, and a 14-year-old Jake. Jake is more an achiever. He's involved in sports, does great in school, and recently won an award for community volunteering. We have been celebrating his achievements, usually with dinner out. Katie, on the other hand, doesn't do much. She hasn't been putting effort into anything lately. She basically just goes to school and then exists in the house. She spends her free time on her phone or watching TV, doesn't have any hobbies or interests outside of her friend group, and doesn't put much effort into schoolwork. This results in her not getting many celebration outside of her birthday. We stopped forcing her to do sports or other clubs when she hit high school. Katie came to me and said she feels like it's unfair we celebrate Jake, and I decided to have a conversation with her. I sat her down and explained that we love her just as much, but if she wants to be celebrated like Jake, she needs to put effort into something. I suggested she try finding something she's passionate about, or work harder in school, that she should make her own goals to work towards. I thought I was being honest but gentle. Katie did not take it well. She exploded, accusing me of playing favorites, and said it was unfair that Jake gets all the attention just because he's always doing things. She even lashed out at Jake, telling him that he was the golden child, and she was tired of hearing about how great he was. Jake was hurt by her outburst, and now things are awkward between them. Katie has been avoiding both me and her brother since then, staying in her room or giving us the silent treatment. My husband thinks I could have phrased it better, but I believe this was an important reality check for her. If she isn't doing anything, then there isn't anything to celebrate. Edit. For anyone claiming I never talk or be around my daughter, she literally just went apple picking with her father this weekend. I am spending almost every day teaching her how to drive. We went shopping and a spa day earlier this month. Her father is teaching how to change tires and how to work basics of the car. That's been happening every weekend for months. Me and her dad have been watching a show every Thursday with her for months. That's just this month. Not the a-hole. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm assuming y'all would celebrate her birthday, graduation, etc. Does she think people are just going to throw parties for her for no reason? She's old enough to learn that's not how the world works. Maybe get her into therapy. Sounds like she's in some sort of woe is me spiral. Maybe some outside perspective would help her get on track, or at least understand why people who work hard and achieve things get celebrated for them, while people who don't, do not. Yes, we celebrate those things. Not the a-hole, but your daughter sounds like she needs guidance and possibly therapy. I couldn't figure out what appealed to me in late middle school/early high school. I wasn't passionate about any club or activity that I was aware was offered. I couldn't find books I was passionate about despite having a love of reading. I just didn't know what I liked, and I stopped trying for a while. It would have been really hurtful to watch my younger brother find his passion so easily. Could you offer to take her to do things you think she might enjoy? You may know of things she'd like that she may not know exist. I tend to take this approach with teens. Hey teen, have you heard that there is a scuba diving camp, painting class, guitar workshop, metaphysical festival, volunteer opportunity to help puppies/kitties, haunted house, teen night at the ice rink, concert, etc.? Think about your kid's passions and invite her to experience a world beyond her phone. She may also be depressed, and touching base with a therapist could be a great idea. My 17-year-old told me that COVID also hit a certain subset of kids, those transitioning into middle and high school, really hard. They apparently all talk about it at school, and a lot of them kind of got stuck with anxiety and depression during both traumatic and formative times, along with political/climate change environments, making them feel that there's not much of a use in anything. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad, well, for that you have another daughter? I, 24 female, quickly discovered growing up that I was an affair child. I could see the way my dad's actual wife looked at me whenever I was forced to stay at my dad's. Turns out, my dad was an even bigger a-hole than it seems. Not only did a guy cheat on his wife, but on his favorite mistress as well, my mom. How we found out was even worse. When I was 9, my dad's wife couldn't take it anymore and left with her daughter, who was around my age. So my dad, as the man, tried to fully pursue my mom. My mom had declined because she fell out of love with my dad. Not even a day later, my dad announced that his new lover is 5 months pregnant. When the kid was born, I still sadly had to go to my dad's. I never liked being there because my dad would give me the belt if I didn't properly understand some school material, yelled at me when I came home with anything less than an A, and fat-shamed me for being chubby, 56 kilograms at the age of 8. Thankfully, most of the attention had been drawn away from me. During the first 3 years of my sister's life, I always had to hear comments from my dad, like how I was such a troubled child compared to my sister, etc. When my sister turned 5, I started noticing my dad's behavior around her was much more pleasant compared to the treatment I received at that age. Then, after the kid's 5th birthday, the comments about my sister being way better than I was, smarter and thinner, etc., started always coming at me. Over the years, the comments kept increasing and increasing. Safe to say that I had never felt as if my dad was my dad, and that role was always my older brother. And now, if I'm being 100% fair, I quite hate the guy. I don't regret moving for college and not informing nor speaking to my dad for the first 3 years of living away. For the autumn break, I have gathered up the money to visit my brother and my niece in my home country. I'm pretty good in what I am studying, plus I have lost a lot of weight because of the stress, so my dad now sees me worthy of being his daughter. Somehow, my dad got a whiff of that idea and called me to ask me to go with him and a few of his friends to the annual autumn marathon, to which I responded, "Well, for that, you have another daughter." Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's likely he doesn't have the self-awareness to know how much he hurt you through the years. Keep your freedom and your peace. It might at least make him think a little bit if he realizes you want nothing to do with him. He likely knows, but doesn't care. OP deserves so much better, but she'll have to find it elsewhere. Not the a-hole. Your bio father lost the right to call himself your dad a long time ago. He chose to put his other children first, treated you horridly, and did nothing to have a loving relationship with you. And now that you're in college, getting good grades, and he approves of your physical appearance, he wants to do things with you? That's a hard no. Go live your best life and go fully no contact with your sperm donor. Wait until she's making good money or is married to someone who is making good money. All of a sudden, he's going to be totally focused on her seeing him as a good dad and try to weasel money and favors out of her. Or when he's old and needs help, but family. Haha, no. What a jackass. This guy is a POS. You're worthy now that you've lost weight? I've always been chubby even into adulthood. Not sure how it is for guys, but as a female, I always hated my body and was so ashamed of it because at school I was called names. I can't imagine having it at home at school. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry your sperm donor is such a horrible person. You deserved so much better. It's okay to cut him out completely and put your own well-being first. You don't owe him anything.